Episode 36. We're back. We're talking hotels with luxury hotels with water parks. They might also be luxury water parks, but it's not necessarily a requirement. This is a pretty cool one. We did exclude just right up ahead. Baha and Atlantis are excluded from this list. We make plenty of content about both of those properties. I'll make sure we throw those in the show notes. We've got full episodes. I'm working on a property tour right now, Baha that'll walk the whole property. Yada, yada, yada. Those are probably two of the best options, however, if you would like them. So we're just trying to step outside the box a little bit with some of ours. I think we got some pretty good ones. We've got all the brands, I think, kind of covered, which was exciting. And then I might throw in some honorable mentions at the end, some properties I
Okay.
want to go visit and see.
I like it.
All right. So how about you dive in, Jamie? What is your first hotel?
All right. First one, I am going to kick off with one. I have not stayed at this hotel. I'm possibly going here Memorial Day weekend of 2026. It's one that I've looked at a number of times. It looks really exciting. It is the JW Marriott Hill Country Resort and Spa with the River Bluff Water Experience. So this is just outside of San Antonio. This is a beautiful property. The water park looks pretty fantastic. It's got a number of different slides, really nice pool area. It's got a 1100 foot lazy river named River Bluff. I like a good lazy river. 1100 foot long lazy river. That's a pretty decent sized lazy river. It seems to circle pretty much the whole water park. The water park's 9 acres, so that's also a quite nice sized water park. One of the other features I saw that kind of stood out that I really appreciate is a zero entry pool. And it says there's a sand beach pool with waterfall features. I was trying to find some pictures of it. I could not find those, but that sounds pretty interesting as well. I
Yeah,
believe
so
there's
that,
a oh yeah, hit
I
me
was gonna
with
say
it.
the zero entry pool is like all sand. It's like a fake beach. One of my hotels does that too.
I really like that, right? I think that's really nice. Another one, it's got an adults only infinity pool and hot tub overlooking the water park and stuff. So if you're without kids, you've got a little spot to get away. But this is a really cool looking property. I haven't been there, but it's on my list. As far as water parks go, I know Hill Country in general has got a number of different properties. This is the one I picked. There's also a Hyatt that's got a pretty decent looking water park there. Whether you do the JW or Hyatt, they're both part of programs where we can get the breakfast daily, property credit, upgrade, early check-in, late checkout based on availability. So these are good ones that if you're looking for, whether it's a long weekend or a getaway, something that is not your traditional, Florida beachy water park, these are really good options.
Yeah, I will say they do a really cool Christmas here as well. And this has also been on my list because I'm only 3.5 hours away from the property. Man, there was some great pricing back in like 2001, 2002 that I really missed out on, which is unfortunate. An interesting note about this hotel, too, that I like now about it is Blackstone used to run this hotel and they sold it to Ryman Hospitality, who built the Grand Ole Opry. And so it has gone from a like PE hotel to now more of like a hospitality company. And I will say that I find that generally you're gonna not get as nickel and dimed in some of those
Yeah, I
things.
would
But
agree.
sometimes maybe is not fair, but that was just, an interesting note. It was an $800 million sale of this property, which seems crazy, but just a little neat fact. It has really been on my radar, and I will say the hotel seems really fun. It has some really big slides as well, which I like. And then one thing I'm always sensitive of too is they also seem to have a really fun kids area, which is one of the reasons it had been on my list. It's a splash pad, but there's still some like mini slides. There's like two or three small slides and like, you know, water features, and it's in really shallow water, which is nice when you have littles.
Yeah, it looks awesome. And like you said, good splash area stuff for the kids. You may know the answer to this, being you live semi-close. Is the water park open through the winter? Is it warm enough to go all year round?
I got to imagine there's no chance.
I'll find out.
Yeah, I mean, even if they heated it, you're probably once you get into October, there's no way.
According to AI and Google, it is open year round. The
Oof.
water park's pools are heated during cooler months, allowing for swimming and other activities even when the weather is cold. Now,
Oh.
AI could be lying to us, but that's what the Google says.
I mean, how about this? I think that it probably is open. Do you want to be in it? I think is another question. I mean, let me pull up San Antonio. I mean, the average high is 67, the average low is 43 in February.
Yeah, it's a little chilly. I mean, I guess you get a sunny day, maybe you can get out there and enjoy it. But yeah, I would say you're probably not going to be fighting crowds for the slides.
No, I mean, yeah, from November to March, you're pretty much in the 50s with in the mid 60s during the day. I mean,
So if you
I wouldn't
if you're
want to be in
coming
a
from New
water park,
York, you're
but
probably fine.
that's true. But man, the interesting thing though is like the average high there in September during the day is 90. So this is maybe not a bad Labor Day trip.
Yep.
San Antonio is a little tricky to get into. It is a nice Southwest airport, but otherwise, it's generally not the quickest. You can pop into Austin, and I think it's about an hour and 20-minute drive down there.
It's not
Stop at
bad.
Buc-ee's in New Braunfels, which is the largest gas station in the world, as far as I'm aware, or convenience store, however they label it, whatever. But yeah, I think that was a great choice for first property.
All right, where are
Anything
you
else on
going?
here? I am going to be headed to the Four Seasons Orlando. So you went anti-Florida. I'm all in Florida here.
I'm all in for this one too. This is one of my favorites.
I did call dibs on this.
Yes.
I jumped off the top rope on you for this one. I've been to the Four Seasons Orlando since 2021. I think my biggest downside that I'm going to tell you about this property is that the price
I
to
was gonna
get in
say
the
if you don't
door
say
here.
price, that's
I will say you'll see some notes and some reviews that there is construction right now, and we just were talking to the hotel for a client. We're trying to get booked, and they do have a way they say they can kind of put you away from the noise, which is not, if that is a problem for you, so that is nice. This property is also humongous. It's 26 and a half acres. It backs into a wildlife reserve, 443 rooms, 17 stories. So it is a much bigger Four Seasons than your average Four Seasons. It doesn't feel like a big hotel, I think, when you're staying there. From my opinion, a lot of the rooms you're going to be able to get views of two fireworks shows, right? You can see Epcot and Magic Kingdom. Is that
yep.
correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And then another cool note is this technically counts as being at Disney on property. Jamie is the theme park guy, so he can maybe hit you with more info. The one thing I do really like about this property is they do have a character breakfast, and the food is fantastic. And that's only available Thursdays and Saturdays and some Tuesdays. I'm guessing, yeah, it says the available following Tuesdays were they had it every Tuesday in July from this note. They haven't updated it for August, but I'm guessing during more peak seasons or over holidays, they'll probably be open on Tuesdays as well. It's a great breakfast. And if I remember right, it's not that expensive.
I mean, if you're already in for the price of the hotel, it's definitely not that expensive. And if you book with us, you're getting breakfast for free anyway, at least for two people.
Correct. So, perfect. There you go. Let's get on to this water park. The interesting thing is like I almost don't even feel like this hotel is a water park in the way it's built, but it obviously is a water park, but it's so laid out in a luxurious way that like everything doesn't kind of blend together. Like you've got your adults only pools, then there's like these kind of, and you have this lazy river that you almost don't even see a lot running through the property. So I feel like the lazy river is like very private and remote. And then for kids, you kind of have this like mecca area, I would say they call Water Wonderland, where there's like splash zones. It has all this like old architecture that like water comes out from everywhere. And it's, I don't know what, maybe a foot of, it's not even a foot, maybe 6 inches to a foot of water deep. And it's just, it feels like it goes on forever. And I think my daughter played there all day at times. And then some of the main entrances of the lazy river too, when we were there, they had like large Jenga sets, four of a kind, like some big shaded seats for the grown-ups. Four Seasons just does everything so well. If you want to go to a water park and not feel like you're at like a water park level hotel, I think they really walk that fine line of like very entertaining, but it's not, you know, I love Baha Mar, you love Baha Mar, but you definitely feel like you're at like a kids water park
Yeah, oh yeah,
hotel.
yeah.
You know what I
You
mean?
don't feel
Like,
that here at all.
You don't. And then that's why I was like, I almost didn't even put it on my list. And then they've got some zero entry pools. They've got some very like spa appropriate pools and kind of everything in the middle. One thing I do like is at the entrances of all those little pool areas, they provide towels, sunblock, water, and then they have like different size life vests, those like foamy life vests, which I do like. I never see them anywhere outside of hotels, but they're like, I don't know. They're not that ugly material we wore as kids. They're like,
Yeah, and the shiny on the outside, kind of soft,
yeah.
squishy. Yep.
And I remember those are at the lazy river entrances, at each pool entrance. So they do a really good job with all of that. And I finally found I was trying to look for it, that family pool they call it, that has like all the, it looks like a Roman
Almost like
architecture
ruins
that's
or
like
something. Yeah, yeah,
collapsed.
it's exactly.
Yeah, that's an 8,000 square foot pool.
Yeah, that's a
That's
cool
huge.
spot.
And that's great for toddlers. I also find like the older kids stay pretty entertained there. There's even a couple like discreet almost water slides there that you don't really see, and they even have a climbing wall for some of the, older kids, not quite in the water park proper. And then the nice thing is you walk down these I don't know, boardwalks almost, and then there's like an adults only pool on the other side of the lake that naturally surrounds the pool, and it's so quiet there. So it's like it's kind of incredible how they lay that out. Food and beverage. When we went, I don't think we left property. Everything food wise was great. The rooms are big, nice. I yeah. I mean, if you've got the funds, like I said, that's the big caveat here. This is probably the most expensive hotel we've got here. I'd guess maybe one of yours
Yeah,
beaches
I
might be
think I have
close.
one. I think net, it's probably going to come out about the same. When you
Yeah,
figure in
but
food and everything.
you know, man.
I'm trying to look back at some of my pictures because you may, oh yeah, they do. I don't know if you remember this. Around the lazy river, and we had a blast doing this. They have like the big squirt gun things that you hold
Oh
on to,
yes.
and you can squirt the people floating through in the lazy river. I remember doing that. That was fun.
Oh, my daughter loved doing that. I had to like hold her up, which was annoying, so she could reach it,
Yeah.
but she thought it was the funniest thing ever. Yeah, I agree. That is fun as well. And then it's
And
just a really complete property.
I was just looking at pricing. So there is a fourth night free promo going on through the end of September right now.
Okay.
Well, this is not cheap by any means. It gets you in, you can get in all in for 4 nights for under $1,000 per night. So that's after taxes, fees, everything. So it's like eight and change plus tax and everything. So a 4 night stay starts at about $4,000 with this promo going on. That includes breakfast for two daily, property credit. Four Seasons sometimes is fairly generous with their upgrades. So I would not say, I mean, if you have unlimited budget, yeah, this is a great property to stay at if you're going to Disney. For someone like me, I would go for 4 days and I would just really enjoy the property for the time I'm there. Maybe you go to Disney one day. But this is a property, if you're staying at, you really want to spend time and I think enjoy the property.
Yeah, and for me, we're not like a Disney family, which I think we've touched on. You're more the theme park guy.
Yep.
Although I seem to go on theme parks on most of my trips, but here nor there. The cool thing about this place that I like is that I like doing everything in Orlando. I like kind of being Disney adjacent, but like I said, the character breakfast was like enough for us. That was like our Disney fix without ever having to leave the hotel, which is kind of awesome. What's your next property there, Jamie?
Yeah, I'm just pulling it back up. I accidentally closed it. So my next one, so it's funny we were talking about this could be the most expensive one. I think this property will rival it price wise, but it isn't all inclusive. So I'm going to be talking about Beaches, Turks and Caicos. This is a very popular family destination. It is, when you think of Turks and Caicos, you don't typically think of all inclusive. Obviously, there's a ton of really great dining and stuff and everything there. This would be the only all inclusive that I would recommend in Turks and Caicos. It is a really great property, particularly for families. They've got a great water park. It's included if you're staying there. It is, while it's not as large as some of these other ones we're talking about, it still is about a full acre of water park. It's got a bunch of slides. It's got a 650-foot lazy river, so decent sized lazy river. They've got a surf simulator, so basically think flow rider, right? They've got one of those. For the kids, they've got a really cool like pirate themed splash pad. They've got a zero entry pools. So if you're looking for a upscale, so this is on probably one of the nicer sides of all inclusives, priced accordingly, with a great water park, so you're not going to be bored while you're there. I think Beaches, Turks, and Caicos is a great one. I've booked quite a few people here. I have not personally visited it yet, but you get a great beach, right? So Turks and Caicos is known for their beautiful beaches. You get a great water park. You get all inclusive with a ton of different accommodation options. So if you're looking for an all inclusive where the kids can kind of do their own thing, you're not worried about food prices, things like that. I think this is a really good option.
Pirate Splash Pad looks pretty cool. Some bigger slides, a water park, another splash zone with like the word beaches on it.
Yeah, I mean, I think as far as, if you're looking, it's probably one of the only decent water parks in Turks and Caicos. But again, this is a really popular one, right? So we'll get people that are like, oh, I really liked Baha Mar. What's something similar? While there isn't really anything similar to a Baha Mar or Atlantis, which is why we excluded them from this, I think this is one that you get a similar like clientele or group of people. If they like Baha Mar or they like Turks and Caicos, they typically will go back and forth.
Okay. I like it a lot. It looks cool. Well, so you said we're equivalent to Four Seasons. Like, what kind of damage are we talking to come here? And I mean, the water park they're saying is 5,000 square feet, so it's not a slouch of a water park by any means.
I'm just going to throw, how old's your daughter? 7, 8?
She's 6, about to be
Okay.
6 this
I'm just
month.
gonna do two. I'm gonna do 2 adults and 1 kid and just see what we got. I'm doing,
Okay.
I think the same dates. I did August 17th or August 21st. That's what I did at Four Seasons. So we'll just see what this looks like.
Now, they don't have Disney characters like the Four Seasons Orlando, but it seems like they do some kind of Sesame Street character.
Yeah, they do definitely do some character things. So, all right. So for the 17th through the 21st of August, your entry level room is going to be 46.44. So a little over 1,000 a night, but that's going to include all your food and everything. So similarly priced to Four Seasons Orlando, but you're going to get, obviously all your food and drinks included there.
Which, if you have not been to Turks and Caicos, you're basically staying for free at the price
Right?
of food there, man. When we have an episode, I did South Bank Resort, which is great. It's on the other side of the island. I would definitely recommend going there as well. But I mean, we must have spent
Yeah, Turks is very expensive.
well over $500 a day in food, and we're not big. I mean, we don't spend $500 a day at Baha Mar in food for perspective, and everyone talks about how Baha Mar is the world's most expensive place to eat. And I'm like, but we can do Baha Mar so much cheaper than Turks. It's unreal. So there definitely is some upside to an all-inclusive here. What is the feedback you've heard like on F&B? Is it like on par with like a decent hotel?
Yeah, I think as far as food and beverage goes, Beaches in general is kind of much higher quality food than you typically get with a all-inclusive, right? So that's typically one of the complaints that food's not very good. This is much better. I think what I would say, obviously, it's not going to be the same as, all right, you're staying at a fancy hotel and you're dining at a, $500 steakhouse or something like that. But as far as all-inclusives go, this is going to be probably above your average all-inclusive. 2 things that I just saw at the water park that I think are really cool. One sells me big time. So there's an ice cream machine at the water park. Obviously, it's all-inclusive, so you can get all the ice cream you want. That's huge.
Dangerous.
And then another thing that sounds really neat is they have a kids-only swim-up bar at the pool.
Oh.
So I could picture like my daughter when she was younger, or your daughter, like just like swim up by themselves at the bar and be like, oh, give me a Shirley Temple or, whatever. Seems pretty cool.
And is the beach decent in front of Beaches Turks?
Yeah, so it is. I actually rode my bike past here when I stayed at the Ritz. It is a nice beach, right? So that's what you go to Turks and Caicos for, is like that white sand beach, beautiful blue water. So it does have a nice beach in front of it.
What's that? Is that 7 Mile Beach, or am I misremembering that? That goes across there.
It's a little bit further up, but yeah, it's
Okay.
7 Mile Beach.
It's like that same general area.
Yep. I think this is going to be closer to where the Andaz is when that opens.
Oh, it's like in the middle.
Yep. Because I rode to here and the Andaz when I was there.
Okay. Interesting. Okay. I've got that track now. Beaches. So you're close to Coral Gardens Reef. I was going to say there's some good restaurants right over there, but I guess it's kind of irrelevant. You're staying.
I know it's a tough one when you're at all-inclusive. You maybe sneak out for like a dinner or 2 or something, but yeah.
Just
I always find it hard
property.
to justify.
All right. I think my last question before we move on from beaches, I'm looking at it. I'm not super familiar. You're the one that's kind of booked people here more than me. Do you have a recommendation on where to stay? Like there's these different areas or whatever, or like where have you booked people, or do you know any of the differences in some of those?
So It's all over. And I think this is really going to come down to similar to a Baha Mar, like East Tower versus West Tower. It's really personal preference. I have one friend from New York that has probably gone 4 or 5 times. And I can't remember the name of the section, but he swears by one of the sections. He's like, I stay here every time I go. It's the best section. I'll have to go back and look. But yeah, I think it's probably personal preference, right? Do you want to be closer to one thing versus the other? Certain rooms are only available in some sections, right? So if you want like a larger 4 bedroom or something like that, you may be limited.
Yeah, and it looks like they're all kind of a little themed or something like because it's Key
Yeah,
West, Italian Village, French Village, Caribbean Village.
they are. And that's where I think
Key
that
West,
personal,
got it. Yeah, Key West, it says, is kind of known to be the quiet section from what I'm reading. That's where the adult only pool is, but that's also where like the large, like 2 and 3 bedroom villas are. And then one of them's not even on the ocean. So if you want waterside, that kind of eliminates where you're at. I see. French Village seems pretty central. Okay. Is the pricing vary a lot between some of these sections, or is it all kind of in line with the room size?
it's more so in line with the room size and view. So right, like the cheapest base room that I'm looking at for those dates was the French Village Luxury King.
Okay.
That was the 4,600. But then you could go, as you scroll up, you might be in, you know, a more expensive in that area. Or, when you're doing, I'm just trying to see what else we got. Like the Key West 1 bedroom concierge, that is not much more expensive, but you could be in a Key West 2-story, 2 bedroom, and it's 12 or 13,000. So
Sure,
it's really
sure.
more so room size and ocean view versus the section, I think.
Very cool.
And just for reference, so the dates I was looking at, the 17th through the 21st of August, the most expensive room available right now is the Key West beachfront 4 bedroom Butler Villa with private pool, and you're at 23,000. Now, granted, I only have 3 people in there right now, so if you start adding more people, that's obviously going to go up, but just give you a feel for
Okay.
the range you got.
Yeah, and it seems like so it's 9 pools on property at beaches. Got the adults only pool at Key West. It looks like 9 slides total across all the properties. A couple big slides. Some kind of knockoff flow rider thing I've never seen
Yeah.
before, but looks cool. And then there's the Sesame Street Parade, hard to beat, through
All
Italian
right.
Village. Yeah, okay.
Where are we going next with your water parks?
Where are we going next, Mr. Jamie? We're hopping on a plane to Arizona to the JW Marriott Phoenix Desert Ridge Resort and Spa. Oof, it's a mouthful. Let me try that again. The JW Marriott Phoenix Desert Ridge Resort and Spa. This is a tough one because I like a lot of properties in Arizona. I think there's some really good water park properties. I don't like the location of this one as much because you're way north of Scottsdale, which I feel like has some more stuff. You're pretty close to the Fairmont Scottsdale Princess. If you're familiar up here, you're just kind of way further north, which it's not the end of the world, but I think a lot of the good dining and restaurants are in Scottsdale. So be prepared to do some driving, I think, down more into town if that is going to be something that you're after. If you're good to stay on property, if you're a dad who wants to golf while your kids are at a water park, I think this is probably one of the best choices out there. JW Marriott just sneakingly is kind of like almost a water park property in a way that I don't think about, but a lot of them seem to have these setup and layouts.
So what's
And
funny, I know we were talking about hotel properties that we've stayed at. I
mhm,
have stayed here. I didn't realize that I did stay at this property.
my gosh, this guy. Well, there's 2 golf courses. It's 950 rooms with 81 suites, so really light on the suites side. Interesting tidbit is this is owned by Ryman Hospitality Properties, who's the ones who bought the JW Hill Country. You're in the same boat on that side. They've recently added 17 pickleball courts. So if pickleball courts are your cup of tea, you can get real excited. Jamie's eager to get over there and play some pickleball, I know.
We just joked about that. I remember them having a ton of pickleball courts.
Okay. So yeah, they're loaded up on pickleball. One of the struggles I have here is so this property was last renovated in 2010, which is not my favorite. It seems like they probably are due for some kind of fixing up or remodeling. Like it doesn't look bad, but it definitely is an older style, like room style. They have been putting money into the property. At least they added in 2023, they added some slides to the water park, which I liked. And then I had a real hard time finding like good specs on the water park here, which is just generally something I find a struggle with some of these Marriott properties. They don't give you like how many feet the lazy river is, although visually it looks pretty big and on par. I can't really find like heights you need for the slides. Like I don't, they just kind of lack some of that useful info. But you've been there, like some of the big slides look big. Like did you go down those or did your kids?
So I actually went without kids. This was
Oh
for
my gosh,
a
this guy.
well, it was a work trip for my wife.
Okay.
So it was like an award trip. So I tagged along. I've spent most of my time hanging at the pool and water park. I don't remember. It was pre 2023, so I think I was there before some of the big slides were added. So I
Okay.
spent a lot of time in the lazy river and just hanging by the pool. I feel like there was one or two slides back then, but I really did. I enjoyed the outdoor space. It was really nice. So you had the water park, you had the lazy river, and then it also overlooked like lake slash pond area. So
Hmm.
that was kind of nice. I mean, the landscape was really nice. Um, but yeah, I didn't have the kids with me on this one.
I finally found it. So it's 1,600 feet. It's longer than Baha Mar. It's over a quarter
That's a
mile.
long water slide
Yeah,
or
it's part of a
long lazy river.
yeah, it's part of a 4 acre pool complex that includes multiple pools.
This says during the summer they do aqua nights events like glow pool parties, character
Yeah,
dance parties, and bubble bash.
I had a note on that and now I don't see it. But yes, I think it starts right around Labor Day from what I saw. The another property we have is going to do that as well. Oh, I finally found what I was looking for. So there's 3 big slides. One of them is 89 feet.
It's a
It's
good
called
one.
and you've got to be 48 inches. How tall is the Baha Mar? Can't remember the name of that slide now.
Well, is it the Leap of Fate? No, that's Atlantis'
No,
Leap of
it's
Faith, Thunderball or something like that.
yeah, Thunderball.
And
Is it
I do
Thunder?
want to give a shout out at this property. One of my good buddies, Jason, is our contact there. He used to be at the Ritz Amelia Island. So he's a buddy of mine. So we will take good care of you if you're staying here. This is also a Luminous property. So we're going to get you breakfast for two daily, $100 property credit, welcome amenity, upgrade, early check-in, late checkout based on availability. So this is a good one.
Wow. So Thunderball is 79 feet,
So this is higher.
10 feet higher. So another floor.
So
So
you're going to get your steps in.
it's a 7 story slide. I'm going to tell you, have you done Thunderball at Baha Mar?
Oh yeah, I've done them all.
I don't like it. It like hurts my back.
Is that the straight down one or is that the drop
Yes,
one?
the
Yeah,
straight
I,
down.
I actually prefer that one versus the one the floor falls out on.
See, I like the floor fallout one.
I get too much anxiety waiting for it to go.
Oh yeah, the fake heartbeat they put in there. I don't
Yeah.
like that part. But anyway, we don't need to talk about Baja Mar that much. But some interesting specs. It's so you've got 5 pools, 3 acres is what the total water property takes up. Like I said, I think if you've got there are some other like we talked about this 89-foot slide. There are a few slides for like the younger kids. It doesn't seem to me when I spent a lot of time digging around for this property, I didn't really find like a kid specific area like with little kid slides like zero entry, really shallow water. So that might be a little on the unfortunate side if you've got littles here.
So I did find, I don't know, I don't remember this, but I saw something. It
Okay.
was called Havasu Playground. It says a family friendly zone centered around a splash pad surrounded by the lazy river with direct access to slides. I'm not sure. I didn't see pictures of it, but I did see that when I was looking.
Well, let me see if I can pull that up.
If I was gonna say, if you can pull that up, I actually just looked to see if there are any decent promos or anything going on. This would be if you're looking for a last minute trip. I think this is a fantastic deal. There's a summer resort credit package that we're able to book for you. So in addition to the, breakfast for two daily, $100 property credit, that stuff, you also get a $100 daily resort credit and free self parking. So I don't know what parking costs, but that could be a money saver. And also the $100 daily resort credit that probably covers your lunch and or dinner each day between breakfast for two and then an additional $100 daily credit. Like a lot of your food's probably covered.
Okay. I have found what you're talking about, but all of the pictures of it seem to be AI. So I don't know if well, they're old. They're clearly like not, or they're like artist renderings, maybe is more fair than AI.
Okay, so maybe it never came to fruition.
Yeah, or it's there and just not small. I will say though, it's like I still wouldn't really call it like a fun. What they show in the pictures is just like those little water blooping up from like the
Yep.
ground. Like there's no like actual. I don't know. It's just I almost wouldn't even call that a splash pad. It's more of like your kids running through fountains, like almost something you'd see at
That's
like
fair.
a mall places.
Yep.
I don't know. It doesn't have like you were at beaches. You've got that whole like pirate water feature. The Four Seasons has all that stuff as well. So I wouldn't put it quite on the same level. I think older kids are going to thrive a little bit better here. There is a
Yeah.
really cool looking arcade that I did find here. So that is something to keep in mind because you're probably sometimes going to be inside because in Arizona it is hot AF a lot of the year.
Yeah.
But I do like that promo there. That definitely makes me a little more interested to go. What's your next property, Mister?
That's a good question. Where are we going next? Let's see. We did beaches, Turks, and Caicos. Let's go to, I'm going to go to Aulani next. So obviously you guys all know I'm a huge Disney fan, and Aulani is, I've only been here once when the kids were a lot younger, but I loved this property. And it is actually right next to the Four Seasons. So if you wanted a little luxury and kind of combine it with Disney, you could do both of those. The water park in the water area here in general is probably one of my favorites out of any property. One, I really like the theming. I think they do a really good job with that, but gonna kind of hit on some of the different things they have here. So first you've got just a nice sized pool, which is called the Waikoloa Valley kind of pool area. You've got water slides, so you've got multiple like tube and water slides there. You've got Waikoloa Stream, which is the lazy river, which kind of winds through everything. And throughout it, there's different. There's bridges you go under. There's different things squirting and things like that. So that's really cool. And we talk about the kids areas. So there's two what I would call kids areas. There's the Menehune Bridge water play structure, which is kind of what we talked about. You would picture it's got some slides and different things you climb over and do. And then you've just got a splash area for kids under 5. It's got the jets that pop up, little tiny pool area. So that's for little kids. You've got the water bridge play structure for a little bit bigger kids. And there's so many different things to like do and see. There's a grotto area that kind of looks out over the ocean. It's got like infinity pool, so you kind of look out, got really nice views there. That's kind of a quieter area. I'm trying to find the name of this thing. Rainbow Reef. So Rainbow Reef is in the pool area, and this is a place that you can actually snorkel with a ton of tropical fish. I thought this was really neat to do. They give you a mask and snorkel, and you swim through. And then there's also a glass viewing area, kind of similar to how, like at Baha Bar by the pool, they've got the big glass window. So you can actually see the people snorkeling and all the fish, swimming around while you're doing that. So that's kind of a neat spot. What else we got there? There's whirlpool spas. So you got hot tubs and stuff all around there. But again, I just think the theming here is really, really cool. It's one of my favorites. I'd like to get back. It's not super convenient from the East Coast, but it's one I'd like to get back to here at some point.
Do you pay to do the Rainbow Reef snorkeling?
So the snorkeling was the only thing that I remember there being some type of, I feel like there was an additional fee. I don't remember how much it was, but I do feel like there's an additional fee there. Everything else is included. It's similar to like Atlantis where you get daily bracelets and things like that to get access to all the amenities there. Another really cool thing that I remember, and I say I know they still have it, is they have like these little hidden like Menehunes, I think they're called, all around. Like they're these little statue things throughout the water park and the resort. And I remember thinking that was a really fun thing particularly with the kids, like go around and look. And I don't remember exactly how it works, but they're interactive. So like when you find them, like you can make different things happen. Can't remember if we used our bracelets or what we had to make it happen.
The
Oh, you
Menehune
get a little
Bridge
tablet
looks
thing.
really.
That's right.
The Menehune Bridge looks really cool. It's kind of like a tree fort that's a bridge with some slides and stuff and all the water bucket dumps and things.
Yeah, I think they do a really good job with the theming. Like it is a Disney resort, but it's not like, oh, Disney's in. It's obviously a little bit more than the Four Seasons Orlando, but it's not like, oh my goodness, Disney's in your face the whole time. So if you're like, oh, I'm not a Disney person, that's not necessarily a reason to avoid this. Like it's subtle. They do a character breakfast and I think character dinner, but it's not like, oh, Mickey's everywhere and Disney's everywhere. And I will say one thing that's cool here is, you've got regular Disney rooms, like regular hotel rooms, But because it is also part of the Disney Vacation Club, they have like multi-bedroom villas. So if you're going with extended family, like you could do a 2 bedroom or 3 bedroom villa that has a kitchen and things like that. So there's a lot of really cool room options here, particularly if you're going with a larger extended family.
Is that something we can book for people, or are they on their own for
Yes. Yep.
DVC?
Nope.
It
Yeah,
is?
we
Okay.
can. Yeah. So they keep a chunk of those back for like cash bookings. So we can book those.
Very cool. Is there a difference between doing the DVC and doing the hotel side from like benefits or anything of that nature?
No, you get basically the exact same everything. And really, it's just different room categories. Like if you're booking with us, you would not, unless you knew what DVC was, you would have no idea it's DVC. It's just a villa. So well, there is a difference. If you book it as a hotel, like if you book one of these multi-bedroom villas, like through us, like or direct, like as a hotel, you're going to get daily housekeeping. Where if you
Okay.
book it as a like Disney Vacation Club, which is more timeshare, you get housekeeping like every fourth day or fifth day or something like that.
Got it. Are the rooms all integrated, or is it like a DVC tower and a hotel tower?
It's while they're definitely different rooms, I don't believe it's like one tower's DVC, one's this. It's probably by floor or section. But yeah,
Okay.
it's all mixed throughout.
One thing that makes me nervous about going to this property always is Koalani is just so far from the rest of Oahu. So I do think if you are going to go here, just kind of plan to be there.
Yes, I would agree. This is a destination. This isn't, hey, I'm going to Hawaii to go exploring. This is when we went, we did this for I don't know how many nights we stayed here, like 4 or 5 nights, and then we stayed other parts of Hawaii for 4 or 5 nights, and that's where we did most of our exploring. When we were here, we pretty much enjoyed the property. I mean, there's restaurants and stuff in the area, but there's not a ton out there. You can stop at Costco on the way,
Yeah,
Target,
you can always
wherever.
pop over to the Four Seasons, try some food over there as well.
Yeah, so you got the Four Seasons right next door, so you get some dining options there, and then just up the way a little bit, there's a Marriott timeshare. And we actually went to a luau there, which was really cool. They did a great job with the luau. So there's some other stuff there. And this has been talked about for
I
years
was about
now,
to bring
probably
this up.
10 years. So if Travel Bros podcast is still going 10 years from now, hopefully we'll be doing another water park episode and we can tell you about the Atlantis that they're building right up the way.
Because there's these coves. I'm pretty sure they're man-made. So Four
Yeah.
Seasons is on one cove, Aulani's on the next cove, and then there's an empty cove,
Yep.
which has been the Atlantis.
For years. I mean, I think I visited this property probably 7 years ago, and there was talk about the Atlantis being built then, and I think there's been zero construction. But I did read in the last 6 months or year that there was like some renewed. I don't know if it got bought or what, but I there's some progress being made. I heard.
Yes, it sounds like a new company. So I'm reading one of the Honolulu magazine. It was originally announced in 2016. The landowner was China Oceanwide Holdings Group, which went into liquidation. There's some real factual incorrect information. They don't seem to be aware that there's an Atlantis in the Bahamas, but I guess that doesn't really matter too much. Because they reference this as the first Atlantis of the Americas, and I'm like, well, technically the Bahamas is in the Americas, but they keep talking about the Atlantis Dubai, so I don't know. It
Okay.
because doesn't matter, but it sounds like so it's a 26-acre plot of land. A California based developer now is leading the development. Cam Sang Company. This all happened in 2025. So this year, they're set to spend $2 billion and they're looking to open in 2030.
All right, let's make it happen.
I am skeptical of 2030. Seems ambitious.
That does seem ambitious if they haven't broken ground yet.
500 hotel rooms, 500 condo units, 5 years. Sounds like they just like the number five.
Lucky number.
They're like 5 years, 500 rooms, 500 condos, 500 pools. Yeah, it'll be interesting if they can get it done, but I don't know. I'll remain a little skeptical, I think, until they start actually doing something on there. It would be
Well,
cool
if it
to.
opens, I'll go. I'll go and we'll do an
Well,
episode.
wow, thanks, Jamie. Thanks for sacrificing
I'll take one
yourself.
for the team.
The
50th birthday.
the interesting thing, I found some renders and some stuff. If I remember, I'll put this in the show notes because it's kind of cool. It's from some random theme park construction web forum, but they have all the renders of the property and they have some aerial pictures of the property. The space looks really small for an Atlantis level prop.
I think I think it probably will be.
26 acres in my head sounds humongous, but then like when I'm looking at it, And I'm like, the Aulani must be on double that space, maybe. It just when you're looking at an aerial visual, I can send you this link. I'm just like, this is not what I think of when I think of an Atlantis property. However, the renders of the actual hotel look very like super futuristic, cool. It looks like they've moved the hotel towards the waterfront in like a U, and then all the lazy river and water park stuff is on the back side. Some great
So
renderings.
I just pulled just for reference.
Okay.
Atlantis Paradise Island. It says the resort spans 154 acres and the water
Yes.
park is 14 acres by itself. So just to
So
give you a feel for
you're talking
size.
like a sixth of the size.
Yeah. So we'll see how it plays out.
I'm always excited for more options. How about this? I'm not going to discourage them from getting out there. It does look like a very much watered down water park experience from what I'm seeing in some of these construction renderings. But let's not talk about Atlantis, Hawaii until it's maybe, you know, there's a crane at least on the ground.
Yep. And Dubai is 114 acres. Atlantis, Dubai.
Okay, so this is small. $2 billion just seems steep too for such a small property. It
Who
just means
knows
they're going to
nowadays?
charge $2,500 a night.
Yes, absolutely.
That's perfect. Are we set on the Lonnie? You cover most of it?
Yeah, I think that's it.
Okay. I'm going to stay in Hawaii. We're going to
Okay.
shoot over to the Waldorf Astoria Grand Wailea. Now, some interesting notes about this property. Blackstone, who we were just talking about, had sold the JW Marriott, owns this property, but they are, per sources in recently as June 2025, they're looking to sell the property. They just refinanced it. So there's a chance this might be changing hands. Oh, well, see, and then this actually article says it was sold. Well, here nor there. It seems like they're looking to sell it. I can't really find, I mean, it's not that irrelevant, not that relevant for our story at hand. I really like this hotel. I do think there's a couple flaws in this hotel. I think I don't love the rooms, and I think it's very overpriced relatively, but I mean that's just kind of a Hawaii issue in general. The F&B on property is not good in my opinion as well. The upside is you can walk to the Four Seasons and you can even walk to a lot of the main parts of Wailea and get food pretty easily or like very quick drive. But I mean, even my wife and daughter were willing to like walk to the mall where there's some better options. So I think if you come here, what I would say is think about it as like we're kind of coming here for the grounds, the beach, the water park, and then I'm gonna go explore for food and do some things. And there's a chance I might end up doing a full review on this property. I do feel like they like the shop there is an Erdogan, which if you're on social media, I'm sure you see all the social media people going there and making jokes of eating like $55 bowls, cans of soup, and $75 strawberries and stuff. So it's like randomly the market there is like an Erewhon, which it's like okay, and they're selling like Erewhon like tote bags for $190 or whatever ridiculous price is. But I'm like, could you just have a regular? And then to say it all, I've never been to an Erewhon, but like the food quality there was not great either for like your $25 sandwich. So I don't know if it's just like a branding thing or they're actually like collabing with them, but I was certainly not blown away by anything there. So those are the downsides. I think the upsides are their grounds are immaculate. And if you have kids, I think you can get a beach chair, open a book, or listen to a podcast, listen to our podcast, or watch a movie on your iPad, whatever it may be, and you will probably not hear from your kids for 8 hours. Even I had a lot of fun here. Oh, what were you saying, Jamie?
I was going to say, I mean, if you've never been to Hawaii and you picture like, hey, what's the quintessential Hawaii resort like ground wise? I mean, I think this is exactly what you would picture, right? Like it's got
Yes.
that Hawaii vibe, lush tropical grounds, exactly what I would want.
It is, and it's so well maintained, and the like theming and the integration of all the water features inside the property is really cool as well. One nice thing I like here too, most of the rooms put you pretty far away from the water park, so you don't have like you're not hearing everything, when you're staying there. I don't remember off the top of my head how many slides it is, which is kind of unfortunate, but we stayed there for 5 nights, and my daughter and her friend, we had a friend from Oahu who they flew over and stayed as well. Those two would eat breakfast and be like, let's go. And The cool thing is you start at the top and there's essentially like a big family pool. And at the end of the family pool, there's a slide. And as you go down that slide, you get into like a lagoon kind of area that could be used as like a little pool. And then you go down the next slide. And then like each slide is like uniquely different. The lagoons are a little bit big. And then by the time you go down the last slide, it turns into a pretty fast flowing lazy river that then opens up into a bigger, kind of more adult pool, which is weird. They send all the kid slides through there, but here nor there. And there's like a swim up bar under like in a cave almost. There's like TVs and people drinking beer and peeing in the pool here nor there. And then you kind of come down out of that pool and there's like a humongous, like almost like a family slide, I'd call it, where you can go like 5 or 6 wide and then into like another pool. And that's kind of like the end. And then you've either got to walk your way up, or they do have a really cool feature that it's a water elevator. It wasn't working when we were there, but they can load everybody in and they like shut a door and then someone at the top wheels it up. And then the whole thing, you can see it on YouTube. Like it looks like a old school amusement park ride, but it's inside a cave, fills with water, and it just floats you to the top. And so that way you don't have to technically walk all the way back up to the top. But I did that constantly with my daughter, and it was fine.
And this is so fun fact about that water elevator. One, it's the first one in the world. And originally, the guy who owned the property and built the property, his daughter was disabled. So he actually built the water elevator to help her be able to go up and do the slides and stuff.
That
That's
is
kind of
very
an
cool.
interesting fun fact.
Look at Jamie with the facts over here. That is cool to know. So, for perspective, the Waldorf Astoria, that is really cool. The Waldorf Astoria tropical gardens and pool area is 40 acres, so double the size of what the Atlantis would be in total.
Wow.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's something to really think about. You can really walk around on the property. The beach is really pretty too. The property is also really big, to be clear. It's 794 guest rooms and suites. I did not cover. The resort has 57 suites and 53 bedroom villas. So you've got some options there. There are some also just really cool. The adults pool is pretty neat there. I mean, it's just a normal pool, but it's like separated from the kids area. Man, I'm so interested in this water elevator now. Now I'm kind of bummed it wasn't working when we were there.
Yeah,
And then I
so
think
it's funny you say that. When I went, I didn't ride it either, and I don't remember why.
Dang. Well, make sure for your sake when you go, ride the water elevator if it's working. A couple notes. So it's 9 pools across 6 levels, all connected via like whitewater rapids, caves, and waterfalls. If your kid is not a great swimmer, you definitely need them in a life vest, or you got to go with them. I would say probably once you get to 8 or 9, they could probably do it. It's about 4.5 feet deep, but there's some instances where the water moves pretty quickly. So like I would definitely want a kid to be maybe like 10 plus, something to think about, or just throw them in a life vest and not really worry about it. One of my favorite things here is it's the lava tube slide, which it's a 3-story drop in a 360-degree loop, which I didn't see this. It says you get up to 22 miles an hour. I did not feel like I was going that fast, but my eyes might have been closed. It's a 262-foot slide. It is really cool, though, because it's dark. It's like dark red, and then it's clear. Like, so there's like a section of maybe, I don't know, 3 to 5 feet that's like pitch black or like bright red when you're in it. And then it's like opaque. So it almost looks like what you would think of like in a movie as an acid trip, because you're just flying through the slide and it's like dark, bright, dark, bright, dark, bright, dark, bright. Like if you pull it up on YouTube and actually see someone flying through the slide, you'll kind of see the sensation I'm getting at. But that's really fun. I think that's a 48-inch slide, and that's kind of in the middle around this whole thing. It looks kind of like a volcano, and so that's like at the top as you work your way down. And then there's also like a 0 entry pool that we discussed. I think it has sand. Is that correct, Jamie? Did you see that somewhere?
Yeah,
yeah,
it did. Yes.
And then there's a couple restaurants, even like in the pool area. Between me and you, obviously food is very subjective, so I don't want to totally push you in the other direction, but consider something else. I think if I remember right, our wives went and had like 2 drinks at that grotto bar, and I think like one got a margarita, one got a pina colada, and I think it was like $50.
Sounds about right though for a resort. That's Baha.
Be prepared. One thing I don't like there is you have to check in at the pool concierge desk every day and they give you like a wristband color for the day. It's just so tacky. I really like Baha Mar how you like check the room key or something. Cause then it's like when you leave the property, you got this dorky like pink or purple or orange, like Grand Wailea hotel guest. I just feel like they could function that a little bit better. They were real stingy on towels there as well. I think there's like a limit of like 2 towels per person or something like that. And it's like, guys, just, come on. Yeah, granted, you can obviously go back. Like, how do they know if you
Yeah.
returned your towels or not? But just the fact that that's part of the process, I didn't love. The spa has some incredible pools there as well. They've got some salt rooms. They've got outdoor showers in the spa, which I really liked. The gym is very great there as well. It's at the time I was there, they're relocating it, so it's in this 2-story part of the hotel, but they're in the process of moving it. Which I was there in 2022. It's probably moved by now, but a lot of great equipment options, a lot of maintained equipment options. And the other thing to give a shout out about this property too is they do a lot of activities and like different things that are going on around the resort. So be sure if you do come, get like a really nice schedule of events. They did like lei making classes and those little Hawaiian guitars. I can't think of the name of what they're called. Like,
Ukulele.
ukulele. Yeah, they did like
Very
ukulele
cool.
lessons for the kids, which my daughter liked. They did a lot of stuff on the open field, kind of over by that church chapel. I saw we weren't there when they did it, but they even do like a luau Polynesian performance and stuff there, if that's, up your alley. But the reason I put this on the list is because we're just talking water parks. And I think if you focus on the water park element of this property, it's a great beach. It's an incredible water park option. I think you can't really get better than it. And I had a lot of fun there. Another thing too I like is they heated the pools. The pools were 80 degrees every day because we were in Hawaii in December. It's not the warmest. One thing I do really like though too is the way, so when you're working down all these slides and all these rapids in the lazy river, you're kind of winding around this volcano that I mentioned, or it looks like a volcano with the big slide in the top. There's a lot of sunshade in where you are. And since the pool's heated, it's not that big of a deal, but you're not like, you could spend 8 hours in those pools and like I'd be a little lazy on sunscreen. I wouldn't sunscreen my dad. No one was like burnt throughout the day. You didn't get excess sun because you're just, as you work around this, volcano and stuff, you're half the day you're in the shade at least
That's
everywhere
nice.
you're moving through. So that is really, unique from a lot of properties that there's a lot of nice shade there as well.
Did they still have? Did they have the rope swing when you were there still? I remember when I think I was there like 2021 maybe, and they had like a cool rope swing into the pool. I don't know if they still have it or not, but I remember that being kind of cool.
I will say they probably did. I was probably irrelevant to me because my daughter was like 3 when
Yeah.
we were there. One thing I did find that they've added since I've been there, and now I can't find it, and I'm very upset. Let me just hold the show here. They have like a new, it looks like a little ride in a globe.
Ooh.
Oh, here you go. I found it. Check out, I'm just going to read the little PR from this because it's kind of interesting. Check out this new wild water ride. It sounds crazy, but also super fun. It's debuted the newest water ride called the Fish Pipe. The Fish Pipe is a rotating barrel that challenges riders to slip and slide together with a top speed of 11 feet per second. I have no idea what that means in real speed,
Oh, this
but
is
okay.
crazy looking.
Yes, it looks pretty cool. And they said
So you
just
just
90
go in it and they twist you around.
Yeah, it seems like it. Just 90 seconds in the fish pipe is like going down a mile-long water slide.
Okay, looks pretty cool.
I mean, I don't know if I would do it. It looks like
I'd probably throw up.
I was gonna say anyone that knows like what hip flexor pain or anything, maybe like you're probably too old for this thing. This is like your bones are real,
kids.
loose and lathered up for sure.
I did see one fun fact that I want to throw out there. This is insane to me. May not be insane to you. Average hotel or average home pool. So think about a pool in your backyard is 15 to 20,000 gallons.
Okay.
They pump 25,000 gallons per minute through their like lazy river slides and everything to keep them running. So imagine being able to fill your home pool in like 45 seconds. That's how much water they're blasting through that.
I don't know how big my
crazy.
pool is, but it's probably in that range somewhere. Yeah, that is crazy to think about. All right, what's your next property, Mr. Haas?
I feel like this company probably should pay us some type of marketing because this was totally coincidental. I had no idea that Ryman Hospitality owned this property until you started talking about it. The last property I'm going to talk about is the Gaylord Opryland Resort and Convention Center outside of Nashville. So this is one I have not stayed here, but as I was, doing some research, this one came up pretty consistently over and over. And this is, I think, probably the only one that we talk about that is indoor and outdoor. This water park is called Sound Waves. Spans 4 acres across 3 levels of indoor and outdoor water attractions. The indoor attractions are 111,000 square feet. That seems pretty huge to me. They've got an indoor lazy river, a fast rapid river, a wave pool inside. They've got a flow rider, surf simulator.
We've got a double flow rider,
Yeah, that
like a
looked pretty cool.
two-person.
They do have a adults only outdoor area. I will note that the outdoor section is seasonal. Indoors open year round. Outdoor section is a seasonal water park. But the indoor space is 84 degrees year round. It's got a glass roof, so you got the sun and everything coming in. It does say they cap the capacity, so it shouldn't ever feel like, crazy busy. One thing to note, this is not included if you're staying at the property automatically. You do have to book a soundscape or sound wave package that includes the water park. And I do think that is to help with the capacity, because if the hotel was, I guess, fully booked, maybe it's too much going on in there, but it is capacity controlled and it is not included with every stay there. They've got a bunch of slides and stuff. I mean, it looks, as far as indoor water parks go, it looks really cool. I do like that it's kind of a year-round thing. So you're, depending on where you're from, you're not having to travel super far and you can still get a water park experience here.
Have you been to this property or no?
I have not. I've stayed at some Gaylords, but not this one. I feel like in general, Gaylords have really cool indoor spaces. So for those that aren't familiar, pretty much everyone has this giant atrium. They're all themed pretty typically around whatever area they're in. So this one has a boat that goes through the water inside. You've got tons of trees and everything. And that's separate from the water park area. So I've stayed at, like I said, a couple Gaylords. I have not stayed at this one though.
I'd be interested. One of my always hesitations with indoor water parks is that gross, over chlorination smell you get.
Yep, that's fair.
One thing I noticed looking in these pictures, which is why I asked you, the ceiling looks really, really high in most of this place, maybe 25, 30 something feet. So I wonder if that really helps the ventilation keep that out versus some of those.
And while we're chatting, I'm just trying to pull up some dates to see what the price difference is for just a room versus all right, if I need to book this water park separately and with it.
That does seem a little stingy to me to not include.
Yeah, I thought so too.
I mean, it probably keeps the park not being full.
And I think a lot of people come and stay here. I don't think this, I think about a Baha Mar or an Atlantis. The water park is kind of what you're going there for. I feel like if you're going to Nashville, you may be going for the Grand Ole Opry or, things like that. And you're not necessarily going for the water park. So it's all right, if I could save a few bucks and not have to do that.
I guess that is fair. And it was also built in 2008, the water park side. So it's hasn't had as much time maybe to be old, but you really got to maintain indoor water parks or I feel like they get gross real fast. And then another cool thing that I see in here is it looks like the wave pool has a humongous movie screen at one end. So I wonder if they do certain movie nights and stuff. That's kind of cool.
I'm trying to see what some of these rates are. It does not seem like it's a significant price increase to add the water park.
Okay, well, that's good to know.
And in some cases, right now, some of these promos, well, it's not a luminous promo that comes with breakfast and everything. The water park rate, there's something going on, and it's the cheapest rate they have.
So they have a climbing wall over the water.
That seems
interesting
cool.
One. Feels like a recipe to get yourself hurt, but what do I know? Or, I don't know. Yeah, you definitely have to be careful on that one. The lazy river looks decent sized. And then they've got some of the typical resort stuff too, like the water basketball hoops and a little separate pool. The kids area looks pretty on par to something you'd see at Baha Mar.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a cool option. I hate to admit this. I've yet to go to Nashville myself. It's been on my list for years to go visit. I've never been to Nashville.
Breaking news. Jamie Haas is a Tennessee hater.
So that's a big one.
All right. You got a new Four Seasons
even if you book
to?
a room, I know I got Four Seasons. I want to stay at the Grand Hyatt there. I want to check this place out now. So we'll see.
Well, I won't nitpick. Technically, you said this was your last one and you've got another one. However, we've run so long, I feel like I should just do one last one and we'll just drop our last two because I feel like this is going to
I
turn
think
into
that
like a
was my last
3 hour
one, other than
episode.
my bonus one. I will shout that one
Well,
out at the end.
technically, we swapped one. You haven't done that one.
But yeah, let's leave those out, and then
Yeah, we'll
I'll
leave
shout
those
out my
out.
one bonus.
Okay. So I've got Hyatt Regency Lost Pines, which is in Bastrop, Texas, just east of Austin. If you actually are flying into the Austin airport, this property is really not far. And then I've got a great tip to throw your way in case you are ever doing an event at Circuit of the Americas, whether it be Formula One, NASCAR, MotoGP, or whatever else is going on around there. 99% of the traffic going to Circuit of the Americas is going to be coming from the west, which is downtown Austin and where every hotel is. So when we did F1 Austin, we actually stayed at this property and it was full here nor there. But like once you got out of the venue itself, there was literally no traffic. Once you could, I actually, on 2 of the days, had to convince a cop to let us turn there. I was like, look, we're literally staying at this hotel over here because, they're just trying to send everybody towards the way everyone else is going. I was like, no, 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 we're actually staying over here. Quick tip. I really like this property. It has become very expensive and I guess probably with that popular over time. It's Hyatt Regency Lost Pines is 490 guest rooms, 58 residential style suites that I think are mostly all on the ground floor. You're 30 minutes out of Austin, Texas, and it's a pretty gorgeous property. You've also got, if the water park isn't your thing, there's a lot of like adventure and other nice things to do there. The water park is a little offset from the hotel here as well as we mentioned with the other one. There's no rooms like right on the water park. The downside is that does make you have to walk to the water park. So I don't like that. There is a zero entry pool. There's like a fake beach that's all presented there. It's just under a quarter mile long for the lazy river. It's 1,000 square feet. It's kind of slow moving. It's pretty relaxing. I have always had a great time on there. It's pretty shallow too. I want to say it's about 2.5, 3 feet. So most kids of most ages are able to stand up. There's a couple slides. If it's busy, the slide lines, I will say a downside here, are going to get pretty long. They've got some good sections with outdoor stuff. As you work around the property, there's the same thing we were talking about at like the Four Seasons. They've got all like the big dominoes, the outdoor Jenga, some things. There's a lot of space out there, and I wish they would add some other stuff. Like the sister property in a way here is the Hyatt in Hill Country, Lost Pines, which we did the JW Marriott as an option, but like the Hyatt there in Hill Country has like a flow rider and some things. So I do like that as an option. But Lost Pines is definitely the nicer hotel. But the zero entry pool is cool. Like I said, you've got a long lazy river. You've got some more grown-up slides. You've got some more kid slides. But then I think a lot of the value in this property too, which I've done the lazy river for like a whole day. It's fantastic. There's a lot of like horseback riding, golf, and other things you can do. It's kind of like more of an adventure hotel. You've got a swim up bar. You also have like a little kids pool. You've got they're almost like a little jacuzzi tub, and then maybe some like small, they call it like a kids pool, but it's just like a random like 1 foot deep pool. Like if you have a baby that's like about the size of like an oversized hot tub. They have a lot of animals on property. If that is up your alley, they've got like bulls and goats and sheep. There's like pretty much like an active farm on property that you can kind of check out. They let the kids come in and like at some point. Did you have a question?
That's
You
pretty
looked like
cool.
you had something to throw in there. Yeah.
No, I was trying to pull some pricing so we could throw it out there, and it showed rooms
Okay.
available, and then all of a sudden it popped up, no rooms available.
We're talking about it. They're selling out already, guys. It's act fast. This isn't a high prevay program, correct, Jamie?
Yes, yep, that's what I was just pulling up. It seems, I mean, I just pulled the summer rate, like randomly. What date did I pull? So if you want to go in August, I mean, you're 400 and some dollars a night, and that includes breakfast, property credit, $100 property credit, confirm an upgrade, early check-in, late checkout based on availability. So pretty reasonably priced as far as, all these properties we've been talking about going.
I would agree. I definitely think you've got to make a real tough choice between doing. I think if all things are equal, I think this is a pretty tough choice to make for me between JW Marriott and the Hyatt. I guess it's not that tough of a choice because I've made the choice and I've picked the Hyatt, but I do think there's probably a good argument to doing the JW Marriott. I mean, the interesting thing, I guess, is going to be what else are you doing when you're in town? I think the Hyatt is probably going to be more if you want to do the more outdoorsy stuff, zip lining and some of those things. Because Austin itself doesn't have a lot of kid-friendly things. And I think San Antonio, if you start to get off property, you've got six, right? There's like a Six Flags pretty close to that hotel. There's a
Yep.
SeaWorld. Then there's like a pretty cool zoo. We did like the Science Museum in downtown or like the Children's Museum with my daughter when we went there. So you've got to balance and weigh those two out. Obviously, Austin's the more hip city. The downside of being at this property, though, too, is you are a good 40-minute drive from being in downtown. So if you are going to do dinner somewhere over there, it's definitely going to be a little bit of a chore. Bastrop does have a few good food options, especially if you're willing to eat some barbecue. I like some of the stuff out there, but you're nowhere near the kind of great options you're going to get being in the city of Austin. So take that as what you will. I think food and beverage is pretty decent at this property. I don't really have any complaints. It's not like somewhere I'm like, oh, I'd love to go eat there, but it's definitely serviceable as a good option. Any other
Yeah, it sounds like
questions?
a cool spot.
Are we
No,
wrapped
this
up
looks neat. I
on
was just looking at
luxury
pictures. I like
hotels?
it.
Okay.
Is this considered hill country too, or no?
No, no, no,
Is
no.
it
This
okay?
is
I thought you said hill country. I was like, all right.
no. There's a sister hotel. There's a Hyatt
Yeah, yeah,
Regency Hill Country. Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
That's in Hill Country. This is just in the middle of nowhere outside of Austin, Texas.
Okay, that's fair.
It's actually very close to the when you drive up to this place from most parts of Texas, you're going to go right by the humongous Tesla factory,
Okay.
which is the largest single building. I forget how somehow it's quantified as the largest. It's like the largest singular length building in the world
Oh wow.
or something like that. It's huge. Don't quote me on that, but it's
Yeah,
some record of some building that you'll definitely drive by. It's
you'll see it.
Yes, it's called Gigafactory, I think is the actual name
Yeah.
of it. But it's kind of in that area. I mean, when they built Lost Pines, it was probably really in the middle of nowhere. And I think Austin just keeps expanding, and growing. That the city's kind of finding that hotel a little bit. But Bastrop has kind of like an old school Texas feel a little bit. It's like small town Texas, more of what you're expecting to get, I think, from Texas as most tourists, especially if you're not from here. So that is a cool little feature, I think, for itself.
So this would be good, like if you were doing Austin and you wanted to take the kids somewhere, be a good like add-on probably.
Yeah, I think
Maybe.
so. Honestly, I think a really cool like 7 day spring break trip even would be if you could figure out a way to like fly into Austin, do Lost Pines for maybe 3 nights, drive the hour and 30 minutes to San Antonio, do the JW Marriott for 3 or 4 nights and fly home. Kind of
That'd be
do
cool.
some things in both cities. You get some of the more grown up food and experiences in Austin, then do some of the kid stuff in San Antonio, especially with older kids. I think that'd be a great vacation, probably at a really good price. You're not talking, you could probably do those 6 or 7 nights with food and flights for the same price. You're probably looking at doing 6 nights at Atlantis or Baha or somewhere of that nature's different idea.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
What's your honorable mention you've got tucked away there?
Yeah. So this is one that I more just want to shout out. I'm not going to call out any specific hotel, but obviously we know I'm a Disney fan, and Disney for the rest of 2025 is doing a free water park day on the day of your check-in. So regardless of what hotel you're staying at on property, the day you check in, you're going to get a free basically pass to go to the water park. So you can go to right now over the summer, Blizzard Beach and Typhoon Lagoon are both open. Those are both really great water parks. Once you get into the fall and winter, they do rotate seasonally. So one will close for the winter to do renovations and vice versa. But one other cool thing is about that is, like I said, on check-in day, you get a free water park day. I am a huge proponent of doing split stays at Disney because there's so many really cool resorts with different theming and everything. So say you're going for the week, you can do, particularly if you're trying to save money, you could do, 3 or 4 nights at a, value or moderate resort. And then after that, you check into a higher end resort, so you can get a feel for two different places. But what's cool is you'd get a free water park day that day you check in, and then you'd get another free water park day the day you switch resorts and check into your next resort. If you're not flying in early, say you have a late flight, I would almost recommend just staying at a, and this is what I would typically do, stay at a cheaper offsite property and then move to Disney early in the morning the next day. Even if your room's not ready, you can check in at 9 or 10 in the morning, drop your bags, go to the water park, spend the day there. By the time you're done playing, your room's going to be ready and you can go back to the hotel.
Perfect. I've got one honorable mention as
All
well.
right.
Now, the pricing quotes that get thrown out for here are all over the place. It's called Okana Resort. Brand new. And I will say most of it's not a secret, at least over by us. I would say most of the kids that my daughter goes out with or knows, like it seems like everyone's already been going here over and over. It's the Chickasaw Nation or tribes property. It is right outside of Oklahoma City, which is kind of cool. It's $100 million water park, is what they say. The whole property was $400 million.
Wow.
It's 404 room hotel. It is a humongous indoor and outdoor water park, and I mean humongous. If you look at some pictures of it, the
Did you end up
pricing
staying
is
here? I know you talked about going.
no, I haven't been yet. I want to stay and do a property review when I can. I'm probably going to do it at some point on, I don't know, some like long weekend or something when we don't have anything to do, especially like I feel like it's probably more valuable for me personally in the winter when we're like can't go in our own pool or do something. We're kind of itching for that experience. But man, looking at the pricing, it's not bad. They've got a flow runner. They got a really cool arcade. I'm assuming it's new. So like it can't be that gross yet, even if they don't end up maintaining it well, like in a long term. It's 3 hour drive for me, so it's just as far as like Hyatt Lost Pines, just in the other direction. But I mean, it's a couple $100 a night. The
I
one
was going to say,
feedback,
this seems very affordable.
yeah, the one downside feedback I've gotten from people is the food on property is not great. But I mean, if you look on a map, you're a 15-minute drive into downtown Oklahoma City. So I mean, you can easily go find yourself some, I think, decent food for the day. They have a humongous lagoon pool. When I say humongous, I don't mean like Conrad Evermore humongous, but I mean a really big like outdoor pool that's kind of the center focus of the outdoor side. It's zero entry. There's a fake beach there. You got to wonder where they're stealing all the sand from, right? Like one of these Caribbean islands or somewhere is going to have no sand in a couple of years with all these zero entry pools with beaches. It looks awesome
Yeah,
though.
this looks really
I
cool.
haven't heard a lot of people talk about it. I mean, I do see a lot of advertisements here locally, but I don't know nationwide how well known it is. They have a mirror maze, which, from like old carnivals or state fairs. I'm sure you've seen one before, but I thought that was kind of
Oh,
neat.
yeah.
They have some like 4-person racing slides and things, but this place is very, very newly opened. So it is on my radar to get out there for sure.
Yeah, get there before the prices go up and it gets too popular.
I know. I got to be on the cutting edge. Well, real quick, Jamie, before we hit the road today, can you tell us why people should book with us, where people should book with us? How can we help them out?
Yeah, so depending on the property, we've talked about we get some added perks and benefits. So, money saving, breakfast for two daily, property credits, welcome amenities, upgrades, early check-in, late checkout based on availability. Plus, we've got connections at a lot of these properties. So, even like a beach as Turks and Caicos or something like that, well, may not be this huge money saver. We can point you in the right direction and help you with requests and make sure everything's planned out for you. Obviously, we would love to hear from you. Got a link below. So if you got a request, reach out and we'd love to get helping you planning your next water park trip.
Agreed. Travelbrospod.com/book with us, or like Jamie said, it is in our bio or down below everywhere. Best podcast we've ever recorded, episode whatever we are.
I like this one. I love my water parks.
I do too. I feel like we could have done it maybe at the beginning of summer versus towards the end, but you can start planning for summer 2026.
Spring
start
break.
booking up. Yeah, don't sleep on your water park properties for sure. So anyway, best podcast yet. We will see you next week, guys.
See ya.